Okay, so we are looking at the final exam review, and we'll begin with question 1 and just kind of work through. Okay, so it says, identify a pattern in this list of numbers, then use the pattern to find the next number. More than one pattern might exist, so it is possible that there is more than one correct answer. Okay, so 3, 4, 6, 9, 13, 18. Who's got an idea?
24.
Okay, and based on what?
+1, +2, +3, +1.
Yeah, because 3 to 4 is add 1, 4 to 6 is add 2, 6 to 9 is add 3, 9 to 4, 13 is add 4, 13 to 18 is add 5, so 18 to the next one is probably add 6. So let's try 24. All right, we blocked that. Number 2, the homework's so much more fun, right? Christina, is that what you said?
The homework?
Yeah.
No, I was telling them to do this review.
Pardon?
They just need to do the review. It's going to be worth it.
Oh yeah, but it's fun. It's fun to do these because you know right away whether you got them right or wrong.
Oh, I love it.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
It's like it's no pressure. Okay, one person earns $41,000 per year. Another person earns $2,700 per month. How much more does the first person earn in a year than the second? So, Brody, you want to tell us how to do that?
I think I forgot.
You can do this. Let's see. So if a person earns $2,700 per month, how would you figure out how much they made in a year?
Well, multiply by 12.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to use a Google spreadsheet. I'm just reminding you guys. I'm kind of doing it on the screen here. I went to my Gmail, and now I clicked on my Drive, and what I'll do is I'll just do a new Google Sheet. And if I'm really smart, I'll just call this final exam, and I'll just shove everything in here. And then I could use it on the final. Except I don't have to take the final because it's Christmas. It's much better to give than receive. That's my big joke. Okay, so 2,700. How do I do it? If I want to do a calculation, I have to hit the equal sign, right?
Yep.
So 2,700 times 12 is 32,400. So to figure out how much more the first person earns than the second, what do we do, Brody?
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to do equals, and then I'll do 41,000. And then to be clever, I can just do the minus and then grab what's in cell A1 so I don't type it wrong and hit enter. So $8,600. Fantastic. Okay.
I love that.
I do. So affirming. All right, now a television, this one's yours, Matt. A television sells for $950. Instead of paying the total amount at the time of purchase, the same television can be bought by paying $100 down and $100 a month for 14 months. How much is saved by paying the total amount at the time of purchase? Talk me through it. You got an idea?
Yeah. Just go ahead. I'm just out. I'm out of it right now. Sorry.
You're waking up? All right. Yeah. This is important, though. You don't want to do this. You don't want to finance your TV this way. So it's $100 a month for 14 months would be 100 times 14, right? So that would be $1,400. But I'll do 100 times 14. And then you have to do $100 down, so that's going to be plus 100. So you're really paying $1,500 for the television. But you could have just bought it for $950. So if you do equals 1,500 minus 950, you will see that you're actually paying $550 to finance that, which is crazy. That's a crazy amount. That's really high. You would want to do that. Okay, well done. Can y'all see everything okay on the screen?
Yep.
Okay, good. All right, number 4. This will give this one to Stephanie. A car rents for $260 per week plus $1.25 per mile. Find the rental cost for a 2-week trip of 500 miles for a group of 3 people.
For how many weeks? 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
You can just talk me through it.
260 times 2
Okay, so we'll do the equal sign 260 times 2.
plus 125
$1.25.
times 500.
So there's some extra information, right? The 3 people doesn't matter. Okay, so 1,145. But these problems aren't too bad. Okay. Number 5. Oh gosh, haven't thought about this in a while. Let P and Q represent the following statements. P is 9 plus 4 equals 13. So P is a true statement, right? Q, 5 times 9 is 45, which is also a true statement. Now it says determine the truth value for the statement, not P and Q. So remember for and, it has to be, they both have to be true in order for it to be true. That's like if I was getting, on your tax return, if you're filing a joint return and you get money back, it'll say, like for me, it would be Paul and Gail Illich. We would both have to sign it to get the money. But when we write a check, since we have a joint checking account, that's an or. So either I can sign it or Paul can sign it, and you can pay money. So in this case, Clyde, not P is going to be false, and Q we know is true. So if you have a false and a true, what is that going to be?
Should be a false.
Yeah, it should be a false. I haven't thought about this in a while, though. Anybody disagree? No. All right, you're all responsible. Oh, we got it right. So does anybody need to take a note on that? So remember on the and statement, they both have to be true in order for the statement to be true. That's the only way you can have truth. And the and it makes like an A. The or makes like a V.
They're both correct answers.
Are we good?
But it's not. The tilde means not.
Oh, not P. Okay.
Yeah, because this little guy right here is a not.
Right.
And so that would be, and if you look at P, P is true, so not P is false.
Two truths.
So that's a false and a true.
And what's the tilde represent?
It's the opposite. So whatever P is in truth or falseness, you have to take the opposite. So if you look at P, P was 9 plus 4 equals 13. So you knew P was true, so not P is false. Is that good?
Yep.
Everybody good? Okay. 6. Okay. A sofa regularly sells for $750. The sale price is $675. Find the percent decrease of the sale price from the regular price. Okay. So percent decrease is the change. You're going to do the change divided by the original amount. So if you did this in a Google spreadsheet, you do the equal sign, and you would do 750 minus, or actually if I do this, I'll do the change first, that's fine. 750 minus 675. And so that's $75. So that $75, you're going to divide that by 750 because you always divide by the original amount. So we'll say equals 75 divided by 750. Okay, and so it's 0.1. You have to convert 0.1 to a percent. You can cheat with the Google spreadsheet and just click this percent button, and it'll tell you that it's 10%. But if you're not using your Google spreadsheet and you get a decimal, and remember to convert a decimal to percent, you move the decimal to the right 2 places. So that 0.1, you move it 2 times and you get 10%. Any questions? Check answer. Okay, we're rocking this. So number 7, in order to start a small business, a student takes out a simple interest loan for $3,000 for 3 months at a rate of 10%. How much interest must the student pay, and then find the future value of the loan? So you might want to, and I sort of heard Christina talking about this, you kind of, when you get into this stuff, you're going to have to pull up those spreadsheets that you made, right?
Yep. So
maybe we should, let's see, if I come in here, that was unit 2, right? Let me see if I have some sheets. You should have your sheets. There's my unit 2 sheet.
Big question. Yeah.
So, okay, yeah, so this is my unit 2 sheet. And then I think 2.2 was, let's see if 2.2 was when we were doing.
I think it's 2.3.
2.3? Okay, yeah, because this is the taxes. So 2.3. Okay, so 2.3, here's my 2.3 spreadsheet. You guys should all have access to this. So as long as nobody's messed with it, maybe you can use it. All right, now it says we want to do simple interest. So that's this one. And we also want to get the future value. So I'm going to use the purple one here. So our principal is $3,000. Our interest rate is 10%. Now, 3 months, what do you do with that?
3 divided by 12.
Good. You have to figure out what that is in portion of a year. So you do 3 divided by 12. And so the interest, and I'll just check this formula, but it's doing D2 times D3 times D4. That's actually correct. So that's the interest, and then the future value, what they do is they take the principal and they add the interest. So that's the $3,075. So I'll come in here and I'll say the interest is 75. And then the future value is the $3,075. Okay, that wasn't so bad. Find the accumulated value of an investment of $15,000 for 6 years at an interest rate of 4.5% if the money is compounded semi-annually, quarterly, monthly, and continuously. So what you're going to do is you're going to use this sort of pale orange one that has the compound interest future value. And then you're also going to have to use the continuous one, the green one over here. So we'll put 15,000 in. And then our interest rate is 4.5%. And semi-annually is twice a year. And what's the time going to be? What do you think, Brody?
6 years.
Good, 6 years. And so that's $19,590.75. As long as this is done right. Let me check and make sure. So you do D9 times 1 plus D10 divided by D11 raised to the D11 times. Yeah, that formula should be right. So I'll come in here, 19,590.75. What is the accumulated value of the money compounded quarterly? Okay, Matt, you awake yet?
Sure.
Okay. What should I change? I only have to change one thing.
The number of compounded periods, right?
Very nice. And so I'm going to change that to what?
4, 3, 4, 4, 4.
Just 4? Yeah. Because you're right, it's every 3 months, but that's 4 times a year. Okay, so $19,619. And then I have to round this to 87 cents. Everything rounded to the nearest cent. Good job. Right, what is the accumulated value compounded monthly? So Stephanie, what do I change?
The same thing, change it to 12.
Good. So $19,639.55. And now compounded continuously, we're going to have to go into this other different formula. So I'll do 15,000. And then the interest rate is still 4.5. And the time is the 6 years. So $19,649.47. Okay, so that's
Rounded to cent just means put the answer that's there.
No.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah, on this one, yeah. And if you run into a rounding issue and you send me an email, I will, probably give it to you. Just let me know, because I'm not going to go through each one of them and let the computer grade it. But if you find one, but if you have the A, don't. I'm a busy woman. Whatever. Just own your inability to round. Okay. The price of a small cabin is $55,000. The bank requires a 5% down payment. The buyer is offered two mortgage options, 20-year fixed at 6.5% or 30-year fixed at 6.5%. Calculate the amount of interest paid for each option. How much does the buyer pay in interest with the 20-year option? So I don't know if we need to. We can actually work this problem. I think we'll go to. I think I have a mortgage one. Is 2.4 the mortgage one? Yeah. So let's do the mortgage calculator. So the price of the home is $55,000, and they have to do a 5% down payment. So that's there. So that makes their down payment 5. If I click on this, it'll be, they just take B15 times B14. So that's your down payment. And so your mortgage amount is going to be, you subtract your down payment from the price of the home. So that's where the B14 minus the B16 comes in. Now they're not doing any of these fancy stuff, like they're not paying points. They want a 20-year at 6.5%. And I'm going to increase the number of decimals on this. At 6 point, and then calculate the amount interest paid. All right, so the number of payments periods per year is 12. Their payment is this calculation here. And then the computer rounds. Okay, now this, you have to do this yourself. Round your payment up manually. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
So let's do our payment rounded to the nearest dollar, which will be $390, right?
Yep.
Okay. And so total paid is $93,600. Total interest is $41,350. Okay. So let's see if we got this part right. So find the monthly payment. Hopefully it's $390. Wow, we're rocking this. Now let's find the monthly payment. Oh, see, it says calculate the amount interest paid for each option. So I want to remember this. I'm going to remember this number. So 41,350, because I'm going to need that in a minute. Now all I have to do is find the monthly payment for the 30-year. So all that's going to do is change my length of the mortgage to 30. And so that's 330.256. So this is price. So this is probably the one where you're wondering, right? But I'm going to say $331. Is that okay? Which doesn't seem right, but I think you have to make sure it's paid off. So let's see. It could yell at us. Is it going to yell at us, Gayla?
I can't remember now, honestly.
Okay. Well, we'll find out. I think you get more than one.
I thought I put cents on that.
I didn't like it.
Yeah, I thought I had put cents.
So let me do 330. It does round, it correctly rounds to 330, right?
Yeah.
So let's try that. Yeah, okay, so we just obey the rounding. So let me fix this. Oh. They've changed this payment rounded to the nearest dollar is 330. And then the total interest on that one is 66,550. So it says calculate the total cost of interest for both mortgages. How much does the buyer save in interest with the 20-year option? So if you take the interest at the 30-year, which is 66,550, so I'll do equal sign and this, and then I'll subtract the interest for the 20-year, which is that one, and hit enter. You get $25,200. Would be the difference. So I think we should take a moment to ponder this. For those of you, I guess everyone in this class seems to be in a different, there's quite several different stages of life being represented here. But I mean, some of you have not purchased homes, I don't think, and some of you probably have purchased homes, so you're not really appreciating what is going on here. But, you know, if you look at the payment for the 20-year option, it was just $60 more a month. And some great things happened if you were able to do that. For $60 more a month, first of all, you only had to pay for 20 years instead of 30 years. And in addition to that, you saved $25,000 in interest charges. So it's something to think about when you're financing a home. It's not always that simple though, because like right now, or at least when we bought the house that we just moved into, we just bought a house this year, the interest rate right now, I think, are crazy low. So if the interest rates are really low and you could like invest your money in the stock market and do pretty well, which the stock market's doing really well right now, it's actually to your advantage, even though it seems strange to do it, it's to your advantage to take a longer term note at a low interest rate, because then the money that you're saving, you could then invest in the stock market at a higher rate. But there's some risk involved there too. So you kind of have to, you kind of have to weigh lots of different things when you're making these choices. And there's people have different philosophies on whether you should pay off your home or whether you should mortgage it. But a lot of it has to do with the interest rate. You know, there was a time in the 80s when the interest rates were like 13, even more, 19%. And at that time, you really want to pay it off. What do you say, Gayla?
I definitely think that's a smart way to do it. Totally is. Paying your mortgage in a short amount of time, then using that additional money to put in savings or whatever investment is at the higher
Yeah.
rate right now.
But that would require, like, you know, because you have to make the choice now. Do you do a 15 or a 30-year note? If you can get a 30-year note at a really low rate, it's probably a smart thing to do. I don't know.
No, I agree. Because then you're borrowing somebody else's money at a lower rate than what you could be getting in savings paying for that money. Right?
Yeah.
That's just somewhere else.
Well, you could also go ahead and go with the 30-year mortgage amortization
I don't
payment.
like this section.
If you got into a buying money-wise, don't make that amortization payment that month, or when you can, make them every month, and that'll still knock a bunch off.
Right. Yeah, like pay extra on a 30-year.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you get tight on money sometimes,
Yeah.
you know, if something happens, you don't have to worry about it. You're not
Right.
going to.
Right. Yeah. It's probably safer. Yeah. It's just kind of an interesting philosophy. But anyway. Okay. But you know, the big thing is when you're going to buy a house, you have to have this down payment saved. So you need to be thinking about, if you're thinking about purchasing a house, think about, you know, over a few years, maybe start saving for the down payment. And this 5% down payment is pretty unusual, maybe for a first-time home buyer. A lot of times you have to pay a 20% down.
Plus, you have to have good credit, so be sure and work on your credit.
Yeah, there's all kinds of issues there. All right, that was fun. All right, number 10. Use dimensional analysis to convert the quantity to the indicated units. So 12 inches to yards. Okay, so I'm going to go back, I think, just to my other sheet that the one that I called final exam. These were easy enough to do just on your, just by paper. But you remember, you think about it, you do, actually, I think I do want to do this on paper. Let me get a OneNote. Ooh, that's scary.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody was doing some calc too. Okay. Let's get out of that and let's just kind of call this like, just get a new one for final exam. Okay, so 12 inches to yards. So we've got 12 inches, put that over 1, right? And then you want to end up with yards. Does anybody remember how many inches are in a yard?
36.
Okay, so you put the inches down below. You want the yards up top. We know there's 36 inches in 1 yard. And so this is 12 divided by 36. 12 goes into 36 3 times. So this is 1/3 of a yard, which as a decimal is 0.33, but you could just type that into your calculator, 1 divided by 3, and it would give you 0.333.
I think it takes.
I think the 1/3
works.
Oh, it says round to the nearest hundredth. You want me to do 1/3?
Well, I think that's what I did.
I think I did too. I don't remember.
Okay, well, I haven't missed one yet.
Oh, I'm going back.
Oh, wait, that's not true. Yeah, I didn't like that one either. I did miss one.
Maybe, I'm sorry.
No, because I don't remember putting any decimals for any
I don't either.
measurements.
Well, it could be that maybe yours didn't need it. You know what I mean?
It could be, I guess.
Yeah. So be careful because it just depends on, you get a new problem every time or whatever. So anyway, so that was just converting it, but maybe yours like worked out to not a decimal.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 11. A baseball diamond measures 25 meters along each side. If a batter hits 2 singles in a game, how many kilometers did the batter run? Okay, so a single is just from like home to first base, right?
Yes.
Okay. So he went a total of 50 meters if he did 2 singles, right?
Yep.
Okay. And so we got to get that to kilometers. So King Henry died base, so by drinking chocolate milk. So the meter here is our base, which is where we're starting. And we want to get from the meter to the kilometer. So we start to the right of the base, 1, 2, 3, and we have to get to the right of the kilometer. So that means we're going to take our 50, and we're going to put the decimals understood to be after the 0, and we move it 1, 2, 3 places to the left to mimic what we did with that picture. So it's 0.050 kilometers, or just 0.05. Okay. Any questions on that one? Okay. Number 12. Use a table along with dimensional analysis to convert the given square unit to the square unit indicated. So 19 centimeters squared, and we want to convert it to inches squared. So let's see, Brody, which one are we going to use?
The top one.
Good. So let me get some space here. So I'm going to do, let's see, 19 centimeters squared. I'll put that over 1. I want to cancel my centimeters squared, and I want to end up with inches squared. and we're told that 1 inch is 6.5 centimeters squared. So I need to divide the 19 by 6.5. So I'll get my little calculator and I'll do 19 divided by 6.5. Enter. So 2.92. Fantastic. Okay. Okay, use the table along with dimensional analysis to convert the given unit to the unit indicated. So we've got 10,000 cubic feet, and we want to get to gallons. So Stephanie, what are we going to use?
Where it says 1 cubic foot equals 7.48 gallons.
Good. Okay, so we've got 10,000 feet cubed over 1. And I got to cancel my feet cubed. And I want to get to gallons. And I am told that 1 cubic foot is 7.48 gallons. Okay, so I will do just 10,000 times 7.48 to get 74,800 gallons. Okay, number 14. If the cost to mail a letter is 44 cents for mail weighing up to 1 ounce and 28 cents for each additional ounce or fraction of an ounce, find the cost of mailing a letter that weighs 95 grams. Oh, and this is that one that we have to know how many, the gram ounce comparison, right? So we'll have to go to the internet. Let's see.
1 ounce was 28 grams.
Yeah.
You think that's good? Did you look it up just now? Or you?
I had notes from when I did the review.
Okay, so 1 ounce is 28 grams. That's what you remember?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll just use that information then. Hopefully that's right. 1 ounce is equal to 28 grams. Okay, so it's 44 cents to mail up to 1 ounce and 28 cents for each additional ounce. So we've got 95 grams. So 95 grams over 1. And we want to get to ounces. So we will say 28 grams in the denominator and 1 ounce in the numerator, and that'll get us to ounces. So 95 divided by 28 is 3.39. So you really want to think of this as like a 4 ounce package because you don't get any partial deal. So it rounds up to 4 ounces. So let's think of our problem. So does everybody understand that?
Mm-hmm.
4 ounces. Does it bother you that the shortcut for ounces has a Z in it?
Yes, it does.
Or why is pounds LB? That doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, but anyway, it's not related to the problem. All right, so
Something else was probably already taken.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Okay, so 44 cents for mail weighing up to 1 ounce and 28 cents for each additional ounce. So really you're going to have 1 ounce for 44 cents, and then we'll have the remaining 3 ounces at 28 cents. So we're going to do 44 plus 3 times 28. So 44 plus 3 times 28, which is 128 cents or $1.28. Everybody okay?
Yeah.
Good job. Okay. Number 15. Oh, similar triangles is fun. All right, explain why the triangles are similar, then find the missing length. All right, we have to have, for similar triangles, what is it that we need? It says, both triangles contain right angles and a corresponding angle of equal measure. Thus, two of the angles of the large triangle are equal. Yeah, so I think that's what you got. You got the two angle thing. 2 angles. I'm going to go for this one. Okay. Now it says the Pythagorean, oh, what am I supposed to do now? Then find the missing length. Okay. It's a little bit tricky on this one because you have a right triangles, you could do some stuff with the Pythagorean theorem, but we don't need to on this one. We could, though, if we wanted to. We could just use the Pythagorean theorem to get the answer. If we're feeling crazy. Do y'all want to do proportions? You want to do Pythagorean theorem or you want to do proportional?
Proportional.
Okay. So, so if I do 15,
I think
who does 15 match with in the big triangle?
30.
30. All right, and who does X match with in the big triangle?
18.
Yeah. Okay, and so you can cross multiply, or I sort of remember Christina's method, which was stare at it, right?
Really?
Like 15 and 30, that's twice. 15 is 2 times 30. So if you divide 18 by 2, you should get 9 for X. Maybe she's thinking of that way. Or you can do, I like the cross multiplying and solving it. So you have 30 times X equals 15 times 18. And you would just divide by 30. You should get the same answer. And you can do that in your calculator if you want. 15 times 18 divided by the 30. You do get 9. So either method will get you 9. So let's look at number 16. Use similar triangles to solve. A person who is 6 feet tall is standing 120 feet from the base of a tree, and the tree casts a 132-foot shadow. The person's shadow is 12 feet in length. What is the height of the tree? And so the only way I think that you can mess this one up is if you kind of use that 120 in your problem, because you're not going to use the 120. You're going to use your similar triangles. They share this angle, and then also they both have right angles, because here's your person and he's a right angle. So this length right here is 132, and this length is 12, that little length from, you know, the person's shadow. And we're looking for the height of the tree, and we know the height of the person is 6. So you could say 6 is to 12 as, what does the 6 match up with on the big triangle?
Right.
The H is to the 132. So I don't know if you could stare at this one as easily to get, but if you just cross multiply and then divide, you should be able to get it. So you have 12H is equal to 6 times 132. So we'll divide both sides by 12. So if you're on a desert island and you didn't have a calculator, you could reduce, 6 goes into 12 2 times, and then 2 goes into 132 66 times. So H equals 66, or you could use a calculator. Okay. 17. A slow-pitch softball diamond is actually a square 61 feet on a side. How far is it from home to second base? So, Matt, you want to tell me how we might do this one? You've been asleep?
4, right? Or add what 4?
Well, it actually looks like we have a right triangle here. if this is 61, what's this one? Did they?
Yeah, Pythagorean theorem, yeah.
Good. So this is going to be 61 also. Do y'all see? I kind of I turned the triangle, but does that make sense? So this is home, and this is second, and this is first. So yeah, they're looking for the hypotenuse here, which is your C. So you're going to do 61 squared plus 61 squared equals C squared. So 61 squared
37.
is 3,721. And so we want to do that again. So 7,442. And then how do we figure out what C is? That's C squared.
Take the square root of it.
Yeah, I'll take the square root, which is this button right here on my calculator. So 86.3 rounded to the nearest 10. Okay. Good. 18 will be halfway done. Okay, a school playground is in the shape of a rectangle 500 feet long and 100 feet wide. If fencing costs $21 per yard, what will it cost to place fencing around the playground? Okay, so let's see here. We have rectangle, and it's 100 feet wide and 500 feet long. So the perimeter, you can use the formula, or you can just kind of imagine that obviously the perimeter, remember you add up the sides, is going to be 1,200 feet. You have to be careful on this problem because they give you the cost per yard of the fencing. So you need to convert your feet to yards. So remember, there's 3 feet in 1 yard. And so 3 goes into 1,200, 400 times. And then, so it's 400 yards, and you want to, it costs $21 per yard. So the cost is going to be the 400 times 21. And if you type that in, oops. So $8,400. Any questions? You guys can speak up, right? If you have a question, you're not feeling left out or lonely or anything. All right.
Guess everybody else do.
Yeah, everyone just speak up if you have a question. Use the formula developed in this section to find the area. Okay, so remember, area of a triangle is 1/2 the base times the height. So if you're making notes for the final, you know, these are a few formulas that we've had to remember. I guess I did I not put any tax questions on this review?
No, you didn't.
Aren't I nice? Okay, 1/2 the base times the height. Okay, and so that's going to be 1/2 the base, which is 22, times the height, which is 3. Okay, so 2 goes into 22 11 times, and 11 times 3 then is 33. I'm just going to close this so we don't get disturbed by that. Okay, so the base is times the height. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So 33 inches. All right, now this one maybe is a little bit harder. It says find the area of the shaded region in terms of pi. Okay, so what you want to do here, remember, to get the shaded region, you want to imagine the area of the big circle and then subtract the area of the 2 little circles. So this is another formula you're going to want to remember for the final. And that is area of a circle. Does anybody remember the formula of a circle to area?
A equals pi r squared.
Right. A equals pi r squared. And so in this case, the little circle has a radius of 10, and the big circle, what do you think its radius is?
20.
Yeah, 20. So the area of the shaded region is the area of the big circle minus the area of the little. Okay? So let's think about the big circle. That's going to be pi times 20 squared minus the little circle, which is pi, minus 2 little circles, because there's 2 of them. So 2 times pi times 10 squared. Okay, so if you do 20 squared, you'll get 400. So you have pi times 400 minus 10 squared is 100, and then you can go ahead and multiply that by this 2 right here. So that's going to be 200 with a pi. And so I know this is a little bit confusing to you, but you've got 400 pi, take away 200 pi. So where the location of the pi, when you're multiplying it, it can be in either spot, because that's called the commutative property of multiplication. So if you have 400 pi and you take away 200 pi, how many do you have left?
200 pi.
Yeah, like if you think 400x minus 200x. So this is going to be 200, and then you have a pi. Okay.
And don't forget the pi symbol.
And don't forget the pi symbol. So we have a 200, and then you have to grab the pi symbol right here. Everybody okay with that one? That was a little trickier. Good. Okay, let's see what the next one is. 21. What will it cost to carpet a rectangular floor measuring 12 feet by 27 feet if the carpet costs $30.11 per square yard? Okay, so on this problem, you're going to think about two things. One, you're going to need to get the area, but then the other thing is recognize there that that you're in feet and you need to get to square yards. So you may want to, you can do it either way. You can go from square feet to square yards, or you might want to go ahead and convert your feet to yards first. That might be easier. So 12 feet is, remember there's 3 feet in 1 yard, so that's 4 yards. And then 27 feet, again, it's 1 yard is 3 feet, so that's 9 yards. Okay, so the area of a rectangle is just length times width. So you're just going to have 4 yards times 9 yards, which is 36 yards squared. And then we need to figure out the cost then. We'll just take 36 yards squared, and we will multiply that by the $30.11 per square yard. So 36 times 30.11. And so that's $1,083.96. Okay. Seems good. All right. Now we're going to look at volume. So this is, as you're taking notes, you probably, I think the only way this could be really hard is if you forget these formulas. So you want to make sure you have your formulas. They should be the similar formula. I mean, I'm not going to throw a new formula at you on the final. So pretty much from the review for the formulas. So we had area of a triangle, we had area of a rectangle, we had area of a circle. Okay, so this one is the volume. Volume of this is like a Coke can on its side. This is called a cylinder, a right circular cylinder. The volume of that is pi r squared times h, where h is the pi r squared comes from, you kind of think of the circles lined up, and the height is, the h is how many circles it would be. So like in this case, it's 6 meters. But notice, what's the radius here? Yeah, be careful there, because they give you 10. They give you the diameter, but your radius here is 5, and the height here is 6. So you're going to do pi times 5 squared times 6. And notice they tell you to use 3.14 as the value of pi. So you'll just do 3.14 times, you can do this 5 squared times 6 all in one line, or you can do them separately in your calculator. So I'm going to do 3.14 times 5 squared times 6. So I got 400, oh, that's a nice number. 471. Is that right? Did anyone else do it?
Yeah, that's what I got.
It's pretty. It's a pretty number. So 471. Good job. All right. Now we're into the last, I think this is the last unit, or like unit 4. Okay, so this stuff, maybe we can do this. This won't hurt our brains too much. I'm feeling pretty good about this final. How about y'all?
Yeah.
Yep.
We can rock it. Should I make it harder?
No. Oh.
No.
Next class, maybe, but not ours.
I feel like I should have put some tax stuff on there. I don't know. I guess I was feeling nice. All right. A restaurant offers 4. What is happening? Yeah. Okay. A restaurant offers 4 appetizers and 12 main course. How many ways can a person order a 2-course meal? Remember, this is where you just multiply the 4 times the 12. So that's 48. Are we okay with that one? That pretty quick. 24. There are 7 performers who will present their comedy acts this weekend at a comedy club. One of the performers insists on being the last stand-up comic of the evening. If this performer's request is granted, how many different ways are there to schedule the appearances? Okay, so we have how many? 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there's only one person is allowed for the last spot because they want to be last. So how many choices do you have for the first performer?
6.
6. And then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So this is really 6 factorial. So if you have that button on your calculator, do I have it on mine? I have it on mine. So I can just do 6 and then the factorial button. Or you can just multiply them out. Either way, you get 720 ways. Okay. Now it says evaluate the factorial expression. Ooh, that's a gimme. It's kind of cool though, because I don't know if any of y'all had seen that. Had y'all seen that symbol?
No.
No.
Yeah, it'd been a long time maybe if you had. Even in high school math, we don't.
I know they didn't know it because I asked both of them and they took advanced classes.
Yeah, it's not one, unless you've taken a stat class, it's not one that you really run into.
Yeah.
So 6 factorial over 6 minus 2 is 4 factorial. So this is 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, and then 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So those cancel, and you get 30. That's the by hand way to do it. You could also use your calculator if you wanted, or you can use your Google spreadsheet with the, if you just type FAC, F-A-C, and then the number, it'll do it. Okay. So a club with 16 members is to choose 3 officers, president, vice president, and secretary treasurer. If each office is to be held by one person and no person can hold more than one office, in how many ways can this offices be filled? So this is actually a permutation. So you could use the permutation formula, or you can just, I like to just think of this as slots, because you have president, vice president, and then secretary treasurer. So you have 16 people to choose from president, and you only have 15 to choose for vice president, and then only 14 to choose for secretary treasurer. But if you did 16 permute 3, if you have that on your calculator, or you get the same answer. Or if you use the formula, it's 16 factorial divided by n minus r, so 16 minus 3 factorial. So this is 16 times 15 times 14 times 13 factorial, and here's your 13 factorial. So you see, you get the same answer. So you can do it with the multiplication, or you can do it with the permutation button on your calculator, whichever makes you happy. So 16 times 15 times 14. 3,360 ways. Questions on that one?
Nope.
So, come on, wait.
You got it working?
Yep.
Joe, on the Google spreadsheet, remember, if you do, I think you do equals and then permutation, you start typing it, permute, and then you would do 16, 3. And hit enter, and it'll give you the same answer. All right, 27. Determine whether the following problem involves a permutation or a combination. So a medical researcher needs 41 people to test the effectiveness of an experimental drug. If 113 people have volunteered for the test, in how many ways can 41 people be selected? So do you guys think that's a combination or a permutation?
Combination.
Good, everybody, because there's order's not important, right? Like the same. You know, here in Nebraska, or in Lincoln anyway, I guess there's a big like medical testing place. So they're always advertising on the radio for like looking for people to take drugs, you know, earn as much as $200 a day. I'm just like,
not do it.
I'm like, no, I just think, how can they do that? But I guess I don't know. It's crazy.
So the next time we see you, if your hair's green, you know you've been doing that $200.
Yeah, I've been trying to earn an extra $200. So if you're a woman in the ages of yada yada, you know, it's like, I don't know. Okay, so 6, choose 3. Let's take a vote on this one. How many of y'all have a computer that helps you, or do y'all use the formula? Brody, do you use the formula on the 6 combination 3, or do you use the computer?
I use the formula.
You use the formula, okay. And then, Clyde, you probably use your calculator, huh?
Use calculator, yes.
What about Stephanie?
I just Google spreadsheet.
The spreadsheet, all right. Gayla?
Calculator.
I write it out.
Christina's calculator? I think I saw it.
Yes.
Yeah, and then, okay, so the two boys at MCC do it old school. All right. That's fine. It doesn't, I mean, if it doesn't, whatever works is good. Or not boys, are you you're men. You're boys to men. You're a group.
I knew that was coming.
Seriously.
That's too easy.
I knew she was recording that.
Now I can hear that song in my head. All right. Okay, so the formula for combination, so if you have NCR, it's n factorial over n minus r factorial times r factorial. So in this case, it would be 6 factorial over 6 minus 3 factorial times 3 factorial. So that's 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 factorial over 3 factorial times 3 times 2 times 1. So those cancel. And then 3 goes into 6 2 times, 2 goes into 4 2 times. So I got 20 doing it by hand. Is that what you got, Clyde, with the calculator?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so the Google spreadsheet, you just type equals, and then you do the combination, and it'll do it for you. Okay. An election ballot asks voters to select 5 city commissioners from a group of 14 candidates. In how many ways can this be done? So this is an example of a combination because it doesn't matter, order doesn't matter. So you're doing 14 choose 5. So we'll use the same formula, but our N is 14 and our R is 5. So we'll do 14 factorial over 14 minus 5 factorial times 5 factorial. So 14 minus 5 is 9. So 14 times 13 times 12 times 11 times 10 times 9 factorial. And then this is 9 factorial, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the 9 factorials cancel. See, 5 goes into 10 2 times, 4 goes into 12 3 times, 3 goes into 3, 2 goes into 2. So 14 times 13 times 11 looks like we get. So I don't like the old school way. Did anybody else get that?
Yes.
All right, it's much more fun just to type it in. All right, 2002. All right, good job. 30. How many different committees can be formed from 11 teachers and 47 students if the committee consists of 3 teachers and 3 students? So this is like it's a mixture of the counting principle and the combinations. So let me show you what I mean. What you're going to do is figure out how many ways you can get 3 teachers from 11 and how many ways you can get 3 students from 47. And those 2 ways you're going to multiply together because this is, this is the students. So you do 47 choose 3 for students, and then you're going to multiply that by 11 choose 3 for teachers. So I'm just, because I'm tired out, I'm not tired, but I'm just try something new. I'm going to do my Google spreadsheet. So you do the equal sign and then start typing combin, and it'll come up, combination, and we'll do 47, comma, 3. And then the equal sign and then combination. And we'll do, what was it, 11, choose 3. And then what we need to do is multiply these 2 numbers together. So if I do the equal sign and then I click on this cell, which is B17, and then I say times B18 and I hit enter, I get the, wow, that's a lot. Okay, so 2,675,475. Anybody else get that?
I got it.
Good, Clyde. All right, good. How are we doing on time? We got 8 minutes. I'm going to try and finish. Does that sound okay?
Sure, keep going.
Yeah, there's only 6 more. Or 5 more.
Yeah. Okay. So 31. You are dealt 1 card from a standard 52 card deck. Find the probability of being dealt a 10. So if you remember, there's 4 suits, spades, clubs, hearts, and diamonds, and each one of them is going to have a 10. So it's going to be 4 out of 10, and you have to have that as a reduced fraction. So if you think about 4 divided, I mean, not scratch what I said, 4 out of 52, because there's 52 cards total and there's 4 10s. So 4 out of 52 is, that reduces, 4 goes into 52 13 times. So it's 1 out of 13. Okay, 32. A group consists of 4 men and 7 women. 3 people are selected to attend a conference. In how many ways can 3 people be selected from this group of 11? So we have 11 choose 3. That'll be the first thing. So that's going to be 11 factorial over 11 minus 3 factorial times 3 factorial. And 11 minus 3 is 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 8. Okay, so 11, 10, 9, 8 factorial. So this is 8 factorial. This is 3, 2, 1. So 3 goes into 3. 9 3 times 2 goes in here 5 times. So 55 times 3. Let's see here.
165.
So we should get 165 ways. Now it says the number of ways to select 3 women from the group of 7 women. That is 7 choose 3. So I can come in my Google, I'm feeling lazy. So I'll do equals combination 7, 3. So that's 35. Now, find the probability the selected group will consist of all women. So that's the group of all women that you would have is 35 out of the total, which is the 165. And you have to reduce that fraction. So you'll do 35 over 165. So 5 goes into both of those. 5 goes into 35 7 times, and 5 goes into 165, let's see, 33 times. And that is a reduced fraction. So did anyone else get that?
Yes.
Okay, so 7 divided by 33. Okay. Find the mean for the data in the given frequency distribution. Okay, so I'm going to do this with the Google. So we have, like, remember this is, you have a 1 twice, you have a 2 6 times, you have a 3 4 times. So what you can do, probably the easiest way to do this is to first enter the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8, and then come in and do the frequency, which is 2, 6, 4, 6, 3, 5, 3, 3. And then if you multiply, like the 1 occurs twice, so you're going to do 1 and then times E1. So D1 times E1. And then you multiply those down, each one of these columns. So like I did D8 times E8, and that's 24. Then if I find this sum, so I can just do equals and then sum of these numbers. That, oops, should be F8, hold on. That's the total of all those numbers. Now I have to divide by the number of times that they occur. And so that's really the sum of the frequencies. So equals the sum of these numbers. Because the 1 occurred twice, the 2 occurred 6 times, the 3 occurred 4 times. So in total, there were 32 numbers occurring. 2 1s, 6 2s, 4 3s, etc. But all together, there were 32. And then, so then to find the mean, you're just going to do equals the sum, which is 140, and you divide by the total number of numbers, which was 32. So 4.375. The other way to do that problem is just to write all the numbers out, add them all up, and divide by 32. Okay, 34. Find the median. So the median is the middle. You want to order them and pick the middle ones. This is actually pretty easy. This is 60, 60, 80, 90, and then 120. The reason this is easy is when you have an odd number, the middle number is the median. And you have to order them first. Everybody okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we did the 80. Okay. 35. Find the mode. The mode is the number that appears most often. So I see two 9.3s and I two 7.6s. Do y'all see anything else?
Nope.
So I'm going to go 9.3, comma 7.6. You have to do the comma because there's two modes. Good job. All right, last one. How sad.
Oh.
All right. Find the mid-range. I forgot what the mid-range is. What is that?
Add the lowest and the highest together and then divide it by 2.
Oh, that's easy. Okay, so the mid-range is 38 plus 45 divided by 2. There's not even a standard deviation question on this problem, on this test.
Thank goodness.
What was I thinking?
Because you love us.
I guess.
Yes.
All right, does that sound right? 38 plus 45 divided by 2, I got 41.5. The reason I said what is the mid-range is even though I teach statistics, which is kind of a class, kind of part 2 of this class, or I don't know, it's another class that I teach. And these are statistics that we're learning here, but very rarely do we talk about mid-range in statistics class. So it's kind of a new thing they're doing in this book. All right, so we are at 2:19, so we're done with class, and we made it through the entire review.